right, I think we're good. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Chewin The Rag. I'm your host, Chris Pickett, and today we are joined by UFC veteran, current karate combat heavyweight champion, father, husband, farmer. I don't know. He's got more animals than I can count. Best smile in the game, Smilen Sam Alvey. How you doing, brother?
I am doing wonderful, my friend. How are you?
I'm doing well, sweating, working, but we're good and we're here. All right, so couple things we got user listener questions rather, a couple things from me, and then I'll let you go. I know you're a busy man. So first and foremost, I'm just gonna jump right into this. How does your wife feel about the shaved smiley face in your head for fights?
Oh, she loves it. She wishes she could do it. She almost went to barber school just so she could be the one that shaves it into the back of my head. No, she knows what it means. It's war. It's war paint.
That's all it is. I was like, I saw that question and I was like, come on now, it's the same thing as being a football player. You get the eye paint on, you're ready to
Yeah.
go. That's that symbol. It's a symbol of war.
Yes, I'm ready. The smiley face means war.
Which is hilarious because it's the best war symbol you could have. um, I want to get right into karate combat.
Yeah.
Is it weird that so for heavyweight for them it's 205, right? Anything over 205 is considered super heavy for karate combat. Am I understanding that right?
Yeah, I don't even know if they've had a super heavyweight fight, but yeah, 205 is heavyweight for karate combat. So I am the heavyweight champion. I am the greatest karateka in the world, is what that means.
That's exactly what that means. Is it weird to you that, when they're like, hey, you're fighting for because I believe it was inaugural at that point, they're like that 205 belt, and you're like, okay, light heavyweight, and they're like, well, it's heavyweight. Like, is it weird when you get that change in the weight class title?
You know what? It's not strange for me because I know what it means, but now I have to explain it to everybody.
Right.
To say they all think, why don't you fight Francis Ngannou at heavyweight? I said because he's still 60 pounds heavier than me. He is a real heavyweight. I am a light heavyweight in a division that doesn't have a heavyweight division.
Yeah, when I first saw that, because I was like, all right, he's 205, and then they announced it as the heavyweight belt, and I'm like, that's for me as somebody who understands the sport, participated in the sport. It was just strange to hear that being a heavyweight. I was like, I don't know if for the fighters if it's weird because they just kind of know what it is, but to hear it out loud, I was like, that is strange to me. I got to get used to that.
Yeah, the strange part is I have to explain to everyone that I don't weigh 260 pounds.
That's exactly it. How do you feel about their pit? I always, I love it, but how do you feel about
Yeah.
actually being in that pit?
So I've always disliked watching fights in a cage. I love fighting in a cage, but watching them in a cage has always been difficult. The cage blocks too much of the action.
Yep.
I've always preferred watching fights in a ring. I don't like fighting in a ring though. This pit is the best of both worlds. There isn't a bad seat. I'm literally not a bad seat in the house. When these fights are going on, you're not looking at the teleprompter above
Yep.
the cage or above the pit. You're looking at the pit, and I love that. This pit is such and to be able to say you fight in a pit, it's pretty cool too.
Yeah, just the name, the pit. It sounds better. Like octagon's cool.
Uh,
It's iconic, but it's just a shape. The pit is like
yeah,
it feels gladiator.
nothing good comes out of pits.
Exactly.
It's a
That's
fact. Nothing
exactly
good is. Yeah.
it. It's I like the rule set too because you can still, the cage is a tool. In the ring, you
Mhm.
don't really have that tool. But the pit, as long as what is it? It's butt to the floor, that's considered down, and even then you get a count.
Yeah.
So as long as you can
Yeah. As
get them
long if you're
against that
on.
pit,
Hmm. Yeah, and you can play on the pit, you can jump off it, you can run on it. Karate Combat 44 was last night, and there were a couple guys that ran up on this pit, did like a flying somersault kick
yeah.
off the pit wall. It was pretty cool. There's some real highlights coming off it.
Well, that's the thing. Everybody loves the Showtime kick. That's one of the
Mhm.
biggest casual even clips. That was probably the first like real casual Showtime kick
Yeah.
was that clip. And now, like with Karate Combat, you can get that pretty consistently now. It's not just that anymore. And you don't have to worry about the toes in the cage. It's pretty flat. You get that parkour, you bounce right off it. So
Yeah.
I really hope Karate Combat, and I think it's doing pretty good right now, but I hope it goes as mainstream as everything else, just because I think the pit so far is my favorite setting that I've seen. You know, Joe Rogan always talks
It
about
is mine.
he
Yeah,
always
it is mine.
he always talks about like the hardwood floor and everything, but like I think the pit, I think they came up with something perfect. Like you said, watching fights through a cage sucks. I love MMA. I don't like to go to fights live for that reason.
Mhm.
Um, when Stipe was supposed to fight John Jones, I'm in New York. I'm a few hours away from New York City. And my buddy's like, "That's a huge fight. Let's go to it." I'm like, "That's not a fight. That's a fight I want on my 70-inch at home.
Uh-huh.
Perfect. I don't want to watch John Jones fight through a cage. I don't want to do it. It's
Yeah.
not worth it to me." So, and he's new to it, so he's like, "God, it'll be fun." I'm like, "It would be fun. It's fun. It's pretty electric, but that's a fight that I want to not miss a beat of that fight." And unfortunately, it didn't happen
Mhm.
anyway. So,
Yeah. Not yet. Not yet. They've delayed that division.
dude, I feel bad for Aspinall because like he's on a tear. He deserves that real belt. I feel like that real shot. So hopefully something happens with that soon.
Yeah, it's crazy because everybody knows Aspinall's not gonna fight John Jones or
Right.
Stipe at any point. Those two are gonna fight, and then the belt's just gonna go away, and then the interim belt becomes the real belt, and everyone knows that's what's gonna happen. Everybody
Exactly.
knows they don't want to fight Aspinall.
They don't, and I don't even know if they want to fight anybody after. Like I feel like exactly what you're saying. I feel like win or lose, whoever has that belt, I feel like it's vacated, and Aspinall is then fighting who for
Yeah.
to unify everything.
Hmm.
UFC Mexico is tonight, and we can talk about that a little bit. But the latest video I've watched of yours was about UFC 300, and we
Hmm.
shared similar thoughts. And I actually share the same thought even after the headliner was announced. Do you still feel like even with Hill versus Alex that it's still pretty underwhelming for what UFC
Yeah.
300 is?
Yeah, they chose Hill versus Alex because that's all they had left. That
Literally.
was, I believe they had already agreed to fight in 301, and then they ran out of. So, well, I guess we can't have Wiley fight whoever she's fighting as the main event. We need
Right.
something, and so it's all right. This works, and it's I. Nobody cares about the fight. But I mean, it'll probably be a decent fight, probably. But it's not a fight anyone cares about. It's not a fight people have been clamoring to see. Now, from what I can tell, no fight on that card has anybody been clamoring to see.
No.
There'll be a lot of good fights or a lot of good fighters, but it is the most underwhelming card ever.
That's the thing. Like, if you showed me this card, I would say, you know what? That's a great card. There's a lot of fun fights. I don't like the BMF
Hmm.
belt, and we'll talk about that because we share the same opinion
Yeah,
on that. But
yeah.
overall, like, I'm a big fan of Bobby Green. I'm a big fan of Miller. There's top to bottom prelims and main card. I like it. But when you then say this is UFC 300, a milestone card, they try to do something big for every, the 100th. And I'm like, it's a great card overall. It's super underwhelming for 300. Nothing jumps out at me on there that I love necessarily.
Yeah, yeah. I did see a post, I don't remember on where, but it was a guy who was breaking down UFC 100, 200, and
Yeah,
300 thing, and 200 wasn't that great either.
really.
I
Maybe
think
we're
the
just
main event
remembering it
was,
wrong.
yeah, I think 200, the main event was Nunes versus Tate, maybe.
uh
It was some girl fight, and I was like, oh yeah, I wouldn't have cared about that then or now. Uh,
I think maybe it's just the hype around Dana,
and it was
Dana.
Dana Promise. This is gonna be the
Yeah,
greatest,
that's
biggest card that's
exactly
ever
it.
been. And it's 299 is a better card.
It is.
299, there is more hype on every fight on that card.
It's just like
299 is a good card. I'm looking forward to 299.
I think, and then I'm trying to remember which 299 is. All this 300 stuff is clouding me up. That's okay. That's
Yeah,
the Vera, O'Malley, Poirier,
yeah,
Holland. Yeah, that's a great card. That's Michael Page's on that card. That's the
yeah.
Kevin Holland fight.
Yep.
Yeah, that's more hype
Man,
than
I'm
that
pulling
fight
for Holland.
alone.
Yes, I'm pulling for Holland so much on that.
Oh, dude,
I've
so am
never
I.
liked Michael Venom Page.
Dude,
I think he's one of the more overhyped athletes out there, and I don't know if Holland's going to be able to do it, but I want him to so badly.
oh, so do I. And Holland's one of those guys that he wants to take it to him as well. So it's like
Uh,
Page, as annoying as he is and as overhyped as I think he is a good counter striker. So I do feel like there are openings, but I hope Holland I'm rooting for Holland. I need it. The amount of stuff I've talked about Page over the years, I can't have him step into the UFC and smoke Holland.
that's where I'm at too. It's like, man, I have run my mouth about how he only
Yeah.
fights bomb ever, and now he's going to come in and he's fighting. Holland's good.
It's a
He's
good
not great.
matchup. Yeah, that's
It is.
exactly
It's a more fair matchup than I wanted.
Yep. Yep, that's exactly it. Feed him to the wolves.
That's what I wanted. Throw him top 5 and just watch him get crippled.
And then the BMF belt, I don't even want to talk about it, but we're going to, I guess. You mentioned the same exact thing I've mentioned, where Jorge and Nate, it was a fun gimmick thing, and it should have ended right there. It shouldn't be a
Yes.
belt that gets passed around, and we shouldn't have. This is like Wonder Boy Thompson fighting for it. We have two overall nice guys fighting
Yeah.
for this belt. There's no baddest MF in this fight.
Right. And they're combining 2 weight classes to make it happen. I would have liked this fight more without the belt.
100%.
Yeah, with the belt on the line, oh, this sucks. This is stupid.
It's corny. It's just dumb. It's like, I love Holloway. I love Gaethje. I think it's going to be a fun fight. I don't know if I like the matchup for Holloway just with that fight with Dustin at 155. I didn't love, but
right.
But I feel like once they attached that stupid belt to it, I was like, fuck this fight to get this thing out.
Yeah, I'm there. I am exactly the same. Well, I no longer care about this fight at all. It's like, who cares who has the BMF belt?
That's exactly, like, I don't give a damn. They're talking about 2 guys who Max Holloway is a world champion. You know, he's been there, he's done it. And Justin Gaethje's right there. They don't need a gimmick belt. It's not necessary for these 2 guys.
Mm-hmm.
So currently right now, outside of being the heavyweight champion at Karate Combat, you're getting into the content game with your YouTube channel and whatnot. We're seeing a lot of across all sports, you know, the biggest NFL players have a pod, everything like that. Why did you decide, you know what, I think it's time for me to make some content and get into the YouTube game as well?
Because everyone told me I should. Everyone that talks with me, hey, you should do something like that. And I said, oh, okay, maybe I will. And then I spent the last year trying to build the channel, and so I got monetized. Like, yes, and now I get to make dozens of dollars a month, and it's incredible. No, it's really just the way my career has only been a career because I've had so many fans of the sport of me watch me tune in. If they didn't tune into me, I wouldn't have had as long a career as I can. All of my social media has for a long time been a thank you to the fans. It has been I answer questions. I communicate better with the people who enjoy this sport more than any other fighter probably ever has. YouTube is a way I can do it in a little bit broader, a little bit bigger platform. I can really get into depth as opposed to TikTok where I have a minute to tell you what I want to tell you, or Instagram where I can show you what I want to show you. YouTube is if you are truly interested in the sport of MMA, what happens behind the scenes, and not even so much me, just MMA in general.
Yep.
And the UFC and Karate Combat and Bellator, and I fought for everyone. It is the channel for you because I am doing the best I can to put everything MMA into this while just still being me.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely. I mean, I've been following you since I've known of you before, but like Instagram, I followed you since like 2018, and I was like, why don't I'm just gonna send him a DM. I don't know if he's gonna see it. I don't know if he's gonna answer it. And I was like, I want to have a conversation. He's always been. It's just your personality. You like talking. You're a joyful guy overall. So I was like, he's somebody I'd like to talk to, and then here we are. So I see exactly what you're referring to when you say like it's always been a thank you to the fans, because I mean you responded relatively quickly as well, which was nice.
Yeah, and it's anyone that asks for a podcast. I've always said yes. I go in, we have a 20-minute conversation, and
Yeah.
then I'll probably do it again in 6 months. And it's just something I've always enjoyed doing it, and keeps me real busy because I do a lot of these now. And
Yeah.
it's always nice when I get someone who's good at them like you, because more than once it's like some 15-year-old kid in his basement, and it is pulling teeth to get him to interview me in any way. But I'm willing to do it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I only had a couple of amateur fights, but like at least I, understand it more than just a person who's never even stepped in. So I could talk it a little bit, and then I just got in a pod because of comedy and a whole big thing. So
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm good at it, but I appreciate the kind words, but I try. But so on top of all of that, your wife's maintained a modeling career. She also trains. Well, I'm not sure. Is she just jujitsu or what's she up to?
Oh, she does it all. She does it all. We might even try and get her into karate combat this year.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she probably would have fought a long time ago, but we've been pregnant.
Yeah, that makes sense. What do you
We've
have?
had,
6 kids
and we've
now?
had too many. We're at 6 kids, 10-1.
Yeah.
We just have a lot of kids, and so it's hard to. It was hard for her to, fight
Right.
for long enough where she would have been allowed to.
So and that's what I want to bring up. So you're a father of 6. Your wife, like I said, maintained a modeling career. She's training hard. And then how many animals are you up to? I've seen videos of what you're working with.
Yeah, so the way we do it is by heartbeats. I wake up every morning and I take care of 117 heartbeats.
Insane. How the hell do you prefer chaos to just the 6 kids, 100 something heartbeats, over 50 fights, I believe now total across all promotions, amateur, professional.
I'm over 80 fights.
Jesus, I shot short and I was off. Do you like that chaotic kind of something to do every day, something new every day?
Apparently I do. I didn't realize about me until I lived on a ranch with 100 animals and a fight career. Yeah, it's great. It's crazy what I ended up in, but I really do enjoy it. There's never, a rest time. Even when I'm doing the podcast like this, it's got to be while I'm driving to somewhere else.
Yeah, I noticed. I'm like, what's going on in the back there? I'm like, oh well, he's currently on the move. It's not just sitting still.
I'm going somewhere. It's important too, probably.
I love it. I'm somebody who I like a little bit of chaos, but I love guys, like Donald Cerrone. That guy's always been somebody who on top of fighting would pile on whatever else. I've always felt the attachment to the people who love a little bit of chaos.
Oh, well, then you love me because it's there.
I do love you. You're a great guy, Sam. I wouldn't have this conversation if I didn't. I tried to it's so funny because Bobby Green is such like the opposite, he's very reserved. He's a very kind of keep to himself guy. But I've talked to him on Instagram as well. And I'm like, hey, I know this isn't gonna happen, but you want to have a conversation with me on a pod? And he goes, man, you're gonna pay me? I was like, enjoy UFC 300, Bobby. I can't pay you.
Do people make money for these?
I don't.
Oh my goodness. I've gotten a bunch of free t-shirts over the years.
Yeah, you got to start going the Bobby Green method. It's like,
I'm
not going to do this.
For money. Dag nabbit.
Well, it's a short conversation, but I do appreciate the conversation. Is there anything that you want to, plug or send my way? Anything we might have missed?
I got fighting news coming up. I can't say it just yet, but I'm probably fighting in March. So yeah, follow me on particularly YouTube. That's what I'm growing the most right now. But TikTok, Instagram, whole 9 yards, and I'll make sure I'll make sure my social media knows who and when and why I'm fighting before the rest of the world.
Yeah, no, like I said, I actually really do enjoy your YouTube. It was one of the things that I wanted to make sure we talked about, just because we have so many similar views, especially revolving around this UFC 300 thing. Everybody else is calling me the psycho.
Yeah.
How do you not love this card? I'm like, how do you love it? Like, I think it's a great card.
Yeah,
It's just, it was so overhyped.
Yeah, the main event, it'll probably be a good fight. Co-main event, I couldn't care less about. Like,
No.
I couldn't tell you who Wiley's fighting. I didn't know she was, I didn't know. I know it's another Chinese gal.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's I've never seen her, never heard of her, never nothing. Then we have that stupid BMF belt before that.
Mm.
I am looking forward to the Bo Nichols fight. I think he's the real deal. I think he
Yep.
is the future of the UFC, and I want to see how he does. And I couldn't tell you who he's fighting either, but he's climbing the ranks, so it's and he's got a good head on his shoulders, so he's probably making the right fight moves.
Yeah, I think with him, I think he's just gonna be a special talent. You know, everybody hyped him up as this wrestler, and he was a great wrestler. And then he comes out and he fights this striker on short notice and slumps him, and it's like that guy's more than just a guy who's gonna smother you. Like he can throw hands, and so
Yeah, and
I'm
he's such
very
a good
excited for
wrestler.
that.
Everyone has to be nervous about him. Yeah,
Yeah,
and I like he's on the undercard. I won't even have to stream his fight. I can
nope.
watch it. Uh,
We don't stream fights. We pay for them. We're good people.
uh, if I like the card, I'll pay for it.
Well, Sam, I appreciate your time. I know you're a busy man. Just wanted to chat with you and get to know you a little bit better. And I'm looking forward to that March fight announcement.
Perfect. Thank you so much, my friend. Thank you for having me on, and we'll have to do this again.
Yeah, absolutely. When you don't have 100 things to do and 100 animals and 6 kids and everything else, we'll
Yeah.
drag it on a little bit. Appreciate you, Sam.
All
Thank you.
right. Well, you have a go, my friend, and I'll talk to you soon.
All righty.
Bye.
That was fun. That was fun. Something short. He's literally on the road right now, so I don't want to waste too much time. Is this really what the camera looked like the whole time? I am sorry. But a lot of fun talking to him. There's so many things that I wanted to ask and drag it out a little bit, but he specifically mentioned 20 minutes just now, and that made me think, maybe I shouldn't try to drag this out. Usually with guests, you guys know I like to go about an hour or so. Chad Colchin was a little bit shorter. Sam Alvey was shorter, but definitely check out his YouTube. I'll put the link in the description. It is a lot of fun. Check out his social medias. He's very active. As I said, he reached out to me right away, reached back to me rather right away. Super nice guy. It was a lot of fun to talk to him. Just like he gets so much hate from casual people in regards to like he was on a 6 fight losing streak at one point. I didn't want to, mention this, but and the casuals are like, oh, why is he even still here? And it's like, because he brings it. Have you watched the Sam Alvey fight? And I wanted to talk to him about that. And here I am now. Fucking, I do this every time I have a guest. But he's somebody who, his hands will be low sometimes and he hits hard. People look at Sam Alvey as, Smiling Sam. He's a happy guy. He's always like, he's got the pose and everything. He looks like a goofy character, but the guy cracks. He hits hard, and he's a fan favorite. If you are hard, if you're into MMA heavy, you know who Sam Alvey is. He's a nice guy, and like I said, he brings it every time. And now he's a karate combat heavyweight champion. I'm happy. I'm happy for the guy because the casual side of things, which I just retweeted something where somebody said, "What's your unpopular opinion about MMA right now?" And for me, my unpopular opinion was that Conor McGregor gets way too much attention for bringing eyes to the sport. And I don't think the eyes he brought are the best eyes you could have. You know what I mean? I feel like he brought in a lot of casual guys who don't necessarily care about the sport. They care about the big names like the characters, the Sean Strickland characters, the Colby Covington characters, the Conor McGregor characters, the Jorge Masvidal character, who he's an OG in the sport, but after the whole knocking out Askren, three piece in a soda, all that, he became more than just Jorge Masvidal, the motherfucker. He became the BMF guy. So for me, I don't love that the casual eyes who only really care about the characters and don't really care about these guys who have just been in it for so long. But yeah, that was something I did want to bring up to him, and I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about his unpopular opinion and how he felt about my take on that. And like you said, we'll probably do it again. He's a super busy guy. He's literally on the road as we speak. If you're watching YouTube, you can see that. Uh, so I definitely wanted to just let him answer a couple questions, get to know him a little bit, and go from there. So I do appreciate his time, and I appreciate you guys if you're made it this far to listen to me ramble and wrap up some things. As I was saying to him, currently, so I had people here at 9 a.m. and they just left at like 1:30. So I had to quickly get in the shower, change, hop on here. So I understand being busy as well. We that space that I've been teasing and talking about and everything else for the pod and renovating and whatnot. We were in there working on all of that, ripping up nails in the floor from the carpet, the tack strips, the staples, all that nonsense. So, we spent about 4 some odd hours up there doing that. And then I had to get bit down here, and he messaged me. He's like, "Hey, I'm ready to hop on when you are." And we had it planned for 2 o'clock, so he messaged me at 1:50, so that's fine. And I was like, "Shit, dude, I just kicked everybody out of my house. Just give me like 5 minutes, and I'll be there." And we got it done. So it's I'm not necessarily in like pod mode right now. I'm ranting and rambling, and I like I said, just booted everybody out of the house, cleared it out. But I think we put together something fun. If you guys don't know who Sam Alvey is, go watch a couple of his fights. He's very exciting, fun guy. Watch his content. Make sure to check out his karate combat match. I believe he said March is when they're aiming for. So pay attention to his socials. Everything will be in the description. And while you are browsing his socials, go to chewintherag.com for all of our socials. We have merch on that website as well. We have all the platform links, so YouTube, Spotify, Apple Pods, Amazon Music, Google Music, or Google Podcast rather. Sorry. So anytime somebody's like, "Where can I listen to this pod?" Just honestly, what I do is I refer them right to the website. I go, "Hey, just go to my website, chewintherag.com, and then you pick." And then you can also join my Discord. You can uh, follow me on all the social medias, like, rate, subscribe, share. That helps a lot. Like he was just talking about getting monetized. We're still growing this thing. I don't really care about the monetization thing. I just want to bring eyes to this because the more eyes on me, the more eyes on guests like Sam and all my other guests that have been on. Check out all the previous episodes. There's a lot of gems in there, a lot of like really talented, hardworking guys and people that I think deserve a little bit of praise and follow. So just check out the old episodes if you like what I did with Sam today. And while I'm here, if you look at this hat, this smiley face, dog hair covered hat, we got a third dog in the house. So he's a little puppy and he's shedding everywhere, as is everybody else who's losing their hair over having a puppy in the house. But Dubby is a jitter-free, clean energy. They have hydration drinks, shakers, hats, merch, mouse pads, stickers, anything you can think of. If you go to dubby.gg and use promo code Chewin at checkout, you can get 10% off your total order. Get some good, clean, jitter-free energy. They are the reason that I don't need to drink 14 cups of coffee anymore and everything else. So really good stuff. I love caffeine, and I'm able to kind of push through for multiple hours on just one serving of their clean jitter-free energy. And you don't have that, that blood itch and that, oh, I got to get moving, I got to do something. You just feel good. You feel like you have some caffeine in you, and you're ready to kind of tackle everything. So w.gg and use promo code Chewin at checkout. And again, please make sure to like, rate, subscribe, share, pick up something at the merch store. It's print on demand. So, once you get that order in, we do our best to get that right out to you. And so far, I'm using a new website for the print on demand. I didn't like the old one. And so far, from the people who have grabbed something, that stuff's really quality. It's really nice, prints well. And so I don't have any complaints. So if you go to chewintherag.com, grab a t-shirt, grab a sweatshirt. You'll notice the ones really it just says, "I'm not doing that, dude." It's really plain. If you're somebody who's watched this pod, you'll hear me complain about something and say, like, "I'm not doing that, dude." No, I'm not. So that's the little inside joke there. We just got the logo shirt as well. Got a hat with the pod name. And I believe there's something else on there as well. I don't remember. That's my memory shot. Like I said, I'm not in pod mode right now. So I'm trying to do just all this stuff at once. But thank you guys for listening to this episode of Chewin the Rag. Thank you, Sam Alvey, for even coming on and giving me your time today, Saturday afternoon, where you're on the road. I really do appreciate it. And I will see you guys next week.